kwanuka impi kuthiwa tsiya zakhala izikhali zikarharhabe madoda, zakhala izikhali zikarharhabe. Untsingakano magwayi wasembo uzamazama lizwe lizamazama usibala mdaka usambatha zimfuthando kanti zomlingana kube izinto uthi zimfihla amadolo kwanuka impi. You know, my father's song njengoba sikhula ithi ithamsanqa liyakwaliwa nguwe. Another one ithi what did yelu nonkala, what did yelu nonkala ngasemlanjeni. I'm gonna play that one when my man is about to stand up. Ixhego lam xa lizawuphakama madoda like linqeshinqeshize lithi what did yelu nonkala ngasemlanjeni. Oh did yela nonkala, nonkala ngasemlanjeni wenza ngabomu nonkala, wenza ngabomu nonkala ngasemlanjeni. Suka ndihambe, suka ndihambe. These songs you will find on Spotify. On Spotify, you look for a playlist called Sound of Africa 61. Sound of Africa Series 61. You will see it's written South Africa. And then in bracket, they put Xhosa Ncika. Xhosa Ncika. Yeah. Ingoma ixhego lami itsho ithi thamsanqa liyakwaliwa nguwe. Oh ufuna ukwenzani, oh ithamsanqa yakwaliwa ngu, oh ufuna ukwenzani, ithamsanqa yokwaliwa ngu, yokwaliwa nguwe, oh alala. Oh madoda didiyela nonkala masambi. This is the last one. Welcome. You know, izolo yesterday I spoke greatly yesterday about izizwe, AmaMpondo, amabomvana. Today I wanted to talk about AmaMpondomise and AmaXhosa. I will continue on this and look at other groups such as Amazizi, Amahlubi, etc. Mdlangathi ndiyakubona Mdlangathi. So today I want to start with AmaMpondomise. Do a deep dive on who these people are and the different groups within AmaMpondomise. But before we do that, I'm gonna welcome AmaMpondomise with ingoma yamaMpondomise. It is a new kintombi. Yes, AmaMpondomise. Yes. I haven't spoken greatly about Amazima. But we are gonna talk. There's no problem. We are gonna talk about all the groups of this country. Nobody's gonna be left behind. But we can only do so much, you know, in one sitting. You can only do so much in one sitting. I'm not finding this song of AmaMpondomise. I'm not finding it, but we are gonna start with them. Tina we know that AmaMpondomise are independent from AmaMpondo. We've always known that they are not under AmaMpondo. However, we also do appreciate that maybe in ancient days, you know, in long time ago, perhaps they were part of AmaMpondo. We also appreciate that. Some people say, AmaMpondomise, they are literally twins, but to be twins, that means they were born in the same royal family. So they were one. They're literally one. You understand? So that's why people used to say then, AmaMpondomise ngamaMpondo azimisileyo Pondomise. But when you look at the name Umpondomise, it means umpondo omhle. Uyabona, umpondo omhle. Umhlekazi Olimpondo. We're gonna start there. How are they related to Ofaku? Well, besides the fact that they come from the same bloodline through CBC, they are not particularly related to Ofaku, because Ofaku, remember, they come from the line of Upala, AmaMpondweni. You should watch yesterday's session to understand AmaMpondo. Understand? AmaMpondo is not just Ofaku. AmaMpondo have many different groups within them. You have Amantusi, you have Amantlane, you have Amakhwalo, you have Imithwa, you have Imiqwane, you have Amagqwarho, you have Amakhonjwayo, you have Amabhala. AmaMpondo, Ofaku come from that group of Amabhala. They come from that group. So you have Ofaku, and then Ofaku are descendants of Unyawuza, directly from Unyawuza. So you go to my YouTube, you watch that video. It was in detail. That's how it goes. AmaMpondomise now. AmaMpondomise are not just Omajola. Injalo Chambas. AmaMpondomise are not just Omajola. Omajola are just one clan within AmaMpondomise. AmaMpondomise, you've got many different groups. You've got Amaqwecha, you've got Amampinga, you've got Amadosini, you've got Ocabasha, Amampehla, you've got Amabhukwana, you've got Amanqinsi, you've got Amadlova. These are all AmaMpondomise. You've got Imihaga, which is where Amakhudulu come from. They come from Imihaga. You've got Amanqana. Oh, twasicambesile sokondlelela amakhosazana. Amanqana ango. You've got Amakhudulu, who are also known as Amangwevu. You've got Amaqadi. You've got Amangcinase. All of these are AmaMpondomise. And then you have other groups like Amavelelo, Amaqhinebe, Amakhomazi. They are AmaMpondomise because they all have the same king. That's what makes them AmaMpondomise. Because they have the same king. Just like what makes people AmaZulu is because they have the same king. What makes people AmaXhosa is because they have the same king. It's not because they were all born from the same womb at the same time. No, it's because they have the same king. It's our allegiance to the kings that makes us the nations that we are. Thank you, Nkalontle. Thank you very much. An interesting thing in isiXhosa, a social worker is known as unontlalontle. You know, I haven't heard that word in a long time, but yeah, that's the name for a social worker in isiXhosa. Unontlalontle. How did I acquire this knowledge? Oh, it's these things, you grow up with them, you know. If I'm being honest with you, you get raised with this kind of stuff. It starts with the language, you know, the language you speak at home. Tina, at home, we never spoke English. We spoke proper indigenous South African language. So it starts with the language you speak at home. You learn the idioms. Imbila yasolumsila ngokuyalezela. You learn izangoche, izaci namaqhalo at home. For example, when something is too big, we call it igomodi. If you're carrying a child who's more than 5 years old, ubeleke igomodi emqodo. The truth is that in our culture, chiskop is only done when you are mourning something. It's done for ukuzila. So when a person dies, especially a man or a senior person, when a boy is going to the mountain, or when people are going through initiation, because initiation means the previous state is dying, the new state is being born. When you go to the mountain, the boy dies and the man is born. So you cut your hair. In mourning, you put soil in your body. In mourning, you cut your clothes. In mourning, all of that are forms of mourning. We are zila. When you wearing those, you know, clothes that are cut, you're not wearing real clothes. You're in the wild because there's death that has happened, figurative as it is. When you come back, you are anointed because you are new. And this is true across. Same thing for when there's death. Traditionally, we cut hair and we put white clay. We put white clay to say there's death now. And you don't wear a suit when there's death. You don't wear a suit when there's a funeral. You wear old clothes because it's death. Mara, now we do the opposite. We even wear black clothes, but originally it's supposed to be white because it's reflective. It's reflective. Now, wearing the clothes of a dead person, there's a tradition about that. There's a ceremony. There's a ceremony. Certain clothes are thrown away, but certain clothes are not thrown away. They can be separated by the family, but they have to be washed first. So, I'm just saying you learn about these things before you can learn about other people. You can't go and learn about the history of AmaZulu, the history of AmaZocho, the history of AmaMpondomise when you don't know your own personal process. You understand? You have to be stable enough in your own knowledge about how the coming into this life, the growing and the living. So you need to learn. Your indigenous knowledge needs to start from there. It has to start from there. It can't start from just, the king of this nation is so and so. Forget about kings. Learn about your own clan and your family history. Why do you cut finger if you cut finger? Why do you cut your face if you cut your face? Do you get what I'm saying? So you first need to learn about those things. And then you can expand then your knowledge then. You can expand your knowledge after that into now the nation at large. But you must start with yourself at an individual level. Then go into the nation at large. Then you learn about the related nation and related groups. Yeah. The Xhosa king, there are two kings. So the senior one is from KwaGcaleka, is King Jonguxolo. I think KwaGcaleka is King Ahlangene. KwaGcaleka. Vulikhaya, it's King Ahlangene. KwaRharhabe is King Jonguxolo. Vululwandle. Those are Xhosa kings. Those are not Mpondo kings. Those are not Mpondomise kings. Those are not Bomvana kings. Those are not Esibe kings. Those are Xhosa. Now, Xhosa is a big nation in and of itself. Xhosa is a big nation. I know many people don't know AmaXhosa, unfortunately, because, it's been diluted so much. But I'm gonna share who the AmaXhosa are in and of themselves. And 90% of the stuff, maybe you've never heard of them. Yeah, bo. No. AmaMvengu do not have a king because AmaMvengu are not a nation. AmaMvengu are not a nation, so they don't have a king. Within AmaMvengu, there's different groups from different nations. Remember now, AmaMvengu are from KZN. So if they had any king, the kings are in KZN. For example, AmaHlubi, the king is in KZN. Ulangalbale. AmaZizi, the kings are in KZN. Omiya. We are born. All the kings of AmaMvengu have to be in KZN. They can't be in the Eastern Cape. Now, the groups do have chiefs. They do have chiefs, paramount leaders. AmaBele, they do have chiefs. Like KwaMavuso, they have chiefs. AmaZizi, they do have chiefs. They all have chiefs, but not kings. Nkosi yamaHlubi, isilo samaHlubi, KZN. There's a controversy there, blah, blah, blah. But they don't have kings in the Eastern Cape because AmaMvengu are not one nation. They are not one nation. They are different groups. They are AmaNgwane. They are AmaHlubi. They are AmaZizi. They are AmaBele. All these are different nations, by the way. You have AmaZocho. You have AmaNtungwa, even, or Khumalo. They're there in Eastern Cape right now. You have Onkomo. They can't have one king. It's two different nations. Yes, AmaNgwane, ngakamatiwane. They came with uMatiwane. But uMatiwane left and went back to KZN to be unalived. All these are nations. AmaBele, it's a nation. AmaHlubi is a nation. AmaZizi is a nation. AmaNgwane all these people are nations, but in Eastern Cape, they came as people who are seeking refuge. They didn't come as nations. They came as people who are seeking refuge. So, they just needed to be housed and given food and land, and they've been in Eastern Cape for a very long time. People like Thabo Mbeki are descendants of such people. Thabo Mbeki lizizi. He's not Xhosa, he's Zizi. So Thabo Mbeki, originally his ancestors are from KZN. Zolani Mkiva, the poet, the praise poet of 2010 in that big stadium, Zolani Mkiva, originally from KZN as well. I think Gumiya Gwanini. Zozibini Tunzi from KZN originally, her ancestors. Mamtolo, Otolo from KZN. A lot of the people that you know as Xhosa today, most of them are from KZN. Now, are they Xhosa? If they say they're Xhosa, trust me, they are, because they didn't come as nations. They came as refugees, so they became Xhosa then, in that sense. But I'm just trying to clarify the fact that they don't have a king. Now, who are their kings? The kings are the Xhosa kings, obviously. If AmaMpondomise are in the land of AmaMpondo, then their king is the Mpondo king. If they're in the land of Gcalega, then their king is the Gcalega king. If they're in the land of Kgakgabe, then their king is the Kgakgabe king. However, now I want to talk about AmaMpondomise. Let's talk about AmaMpondomise. Yesterday we looked at AmaMpondo. Yes, AmaMpondomise did adopt Xhosa ways in some, to a large extent, and they did influence Xhosa ways as well, to a very big extent. For example, AmaXhosa, they don't have something called umgubo. AmaXhosa have umguyo, ayaguya. But today you find a lot of AmaXhosa saying umgubo. Umgubo is from KZN. That is the influence of so-called AmaMpondomise, also called Abambo. Yabo. But they've lost the culture, because when AmaMpondomise arrived, they used to ukusina. AmaMpondomise used to ukusina, but they're no longer sina now. So they've lost that part. So yeah. Can we start with AmaMpondomise now? Let me see if there's any question here that may need. Well, if AmaMpondomise are fighting for recognition, then that would be weird, because they didn't come as a nation. So what recognition? Which nation would be recognized? Which nation? The Mvengu nation is not a nation. It was a group of people running away from war. Yeah, and this is the thing about helping people. This is the thing about helping people. You help them, then they all of a sudden now they want to contend with you in your own land. However, were not taken, they were not stripped of their right to rule themselves. They have got chiefs to this day. Many chiefs, actually. Many chiefs, they've got the most highest positions in Eastern Cape. In fact, they even had access to early education more than many other groups, because they were some of the earliest significant groups of Christians. Not the earliest converts, but they were the earliest significant. Like, as a group, they became Christians and worked with British settlers, together with some Kwe collaborators and some mixed race collaborators, to completely destroy the Xhosa nation. So what recognition are AmaMpondomise looking for? It's the same thing with Coloureds claiming to be First Nation. These people were used by Europeans to destroy AmaXhosa. Coloureds, some Kwe, even some so-called Bushmen and AmaMpondomise were working together with Europeans to destroy AmaXhosa. We are letting it slide because we want to work together. But it's nonsense now. You help people and the next thing they come and act as if they are victims. AmaMpondomise were not victims. That nonsense must stop. They are not victims of anything. If anything, they were helped by AmaXhosa. If AmaXhosa had not, other nations refused to help them. Other nations refused to help, yes. AmaMpondomise went to AmaMpondomise. AmaMpondomise were like, no, we don't want the smoke. AmaThembu said, we don't want the smoke. AmaBomvana said, hey, go to Xhosa. Go to Xhosa land. Maybe they will help you. They were helped. So for me, it's just dumb, man. It's just dumb. It's just so dumb. Okay, neither are you victims of anything. I didn't say I'm a victim of anything. What the hell are you talking about, nigga? What the hell are you talking about? I didn't say I'm a victim of anything. Hey, stop smoking weed, man. It's too late in the night. Anyway, So it's just the whole thing of recognition for me. It's just weird, you know. It's just so strange because what recognition is being sought after? Because there's nothing that was taken from AmaMpondomise. AmaZizi, they're still independent in terms of ruling themselves. AmaBele, they have some of the most influential positions in the Eastern Cape. Yeah, but so I don't get this recognition. I really don't get it. Yeah. Adela, fuck you. Okay. Hlati, I will make you admin. I will make you moderator so that you can remove these fools. Ukusina, guys, is what they do in KZN most. Hayibo, guys, angeke. Anikwazi ukusina. Guys, you don't know ukusina. Ukusina is what they do in KZN. They lift their feet up and stomp the ground. Hi, guys, yeah. AmaMpondomise, they used to sina. They come from KZN most. Remember? So bebe sina, like when they have ceremonies, unlike AmaXhosa ayancisha. The step of AmaXhosa is called ukuncisha, to stomp repeatedly. AmaMpondomise, they used to sina like slowly, yabo. Even AmaMpondo sometimes they do a bit of uksina here and there, yabo. But Abambo, they used to sina properly when they do umgubo. And they didn't differentiate men or women, and they would carry amachoba in their hands. Griha or no griha, they would carry amachoba. So AmaMpondomise besina, AmaXhosa bengisha. But AmaMpondomise have lost ukusina now, yabo. They've lost it. The connection between AmaMpondomise and AmaBhaca, actually Mfengu and Bhaca, the names mean the exact same thing, you know. The name Mfengu and the name Bhaca is the exact same word. Because ukubhaca is to literally go and, you know, look for refuge. Ukumfenguza is the exact same thing. The connection between AmaMpondomise and AmaBhaca is basically how they were formed as groups. However, AmaBhaca, the difference is that it's two original groups. AmaZelemu namawushe. They come all the way from Opongolo, in the border of KZN and Eswatini. They come down, they stay in Natal. And then they mix with other groups there, and then they come down to Eastern Cape, and then they mix with other groups, including AmaMpondomise. But AmaBhaca had already been a nation as AmaZelemu and AmaWush. So that is the difference. They were a nation already, AmaBhaca. AmaMpondomise were many different nations already. They were like Amangwane, Amantungwa, AmaBele, AmaHlubi, AmaZizi, Abathembu baseQhudeni, etc., etc. So there were many different nations mixed together. So they didn't have one specific king. Whereas AmaBhaca had a specific king. They still do to this day. Umehluko ulapho ke. Now within AmaBhaca, there are some Mfengu people abapha basekhona. AmaNtlwane, for example, oZibula bakhona kwaBhaca. Akhona amaZizi oDlamini kaBhaca. Akhona amaHlubi kwaBhaca. They are all under ubuBhaca. Guys, this is, you see, groups like AmaBhaca, AmaXhosa, AmaZulu, you must look at them as nationality. Like, you can change your nationality just by having an ID of that country. An ID for us is basically serving a king. So when you serve that king, you become part of that nation. So when you go to AmaBhaca, you can become Ibhaca, even if your clan is not originally AmaBhaca. But you can become Ibhaca because it's nationality. It doesn't mean you have to be born from those people. Do you get me? So I think people get confused. AmaMfengu and AmaBhaca are two different political structures. So you can't be Mfengu and Bhaca at the same time. If you are Bhaca, you are Bhaca. Even if you are Dlamini. Because your Dlamininess doesn't remove ubuBhaca bakho. You can be Bhaca even if ungukhadebe. Uli Bhaca because you are here in the nation of AmaBhaca under the king of AmaBhaca. But ethnically, uli Hlubi. Ngokomnombo, you were born from a clan of AmaHlubi, but you are not under the king of AmaHlubi now. So you are not a Hlubi. That's it. Now, there in Eastern Cape, for example, KwaRharhabe, you have AmaKhuze, or Dlamini basentlangwini pa. Those people are not AmaDlamini asentlangwini. Their king is not Ntlangwini. Their king is the Xhosa king. But the village is called Emakuzeni because by blood they are Amakuze. There, KwaGagabe, you have AmaMpondo. You even have a place known as AmaMpondweni. KwaGagabe, KwaXhosa, it's called AmaMpondweni. But those people don't go to the Mpondo king to swear allegiance. No, they serve the Xhosa king. So ngamaXhosa who come from the Mpondo bloodline. Yabo. Who comes from the Mpondo bloodline. So don't confuse bloodline and political structure of nationhood. It's nationality. These big groups that we're talking about, Xhosa, Zulu, yabo. Amazibula, aye. Now, what I know about Amazibula is that they come from the bloodline of Amazizi, but not Odlamini. Amazizi. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's Udlamini, then there's Uzizi. Udlamini is under Amazizi. But Amazizi are more than just Udlamini. You have Amazizi abango Miya. You have Amazizi abango Goqolo, Omabhengu, Othanana. You have Amazizi abango Dlangati. You have Amazizi abango Ncwabe. You have Amazizi abango Miya. You have Amazizi abango Zibula, Omntwane. You have Amazizi abango Dlamini, Olanga, Odlamini, Olamyeni, Odlamini, Osobantu, Odlamini, Ogumbila Magwala. And then you have Odlamini, Okhakheni. No, Olanga, Okhakheni. So all these groups are Amazizi, including Odlamini, but not all Amazizi are Dlamini. The oldest branch of Amazizi, the most senior of all Amazizi, go Miya, Ogcwanini, Osibewu, Osaliwa kukulandela. Hayi bawo, no, I just corrected that. Umiya kangodlamini, Umiya lizizi. I just corrected that. I'm saying you have Amazizi. Miya ngamazizi. Goqolo ngamazizi. Dlangati ngamazizi. Ncwabe ngamazizi. Mntwane Zibula ngamazizi. La Khakheni ngamazizi. Bulandi ngamazizi. And Dlamini ngamazizi. Do you understand? I mentioned Dlamini separately because uDlamini is a different line within Emazizini. Akhono amadlamini onjokweni, odweba, oGhadu, oBhanise, bakhona oLamyeni, bakhona oLanga, bakhona uyabazi man bonke ofakade ngqibini oboya. GoDlamini abo, those are Dlaminis, but it's different clans within the same bloodline. So Umiya is not Dlamini. Umiya lizizi, uDlamini lizizi. Udlangathi lizizi, uGoqolo lizizi, Umncwabe lizizi. Do you get what I'm saying? So please don't say Umiya ngudlamini. No, Umiya is way older than Udlamini is. Umiya is an ancestor of Udlamini, in fact, because Umiya comes straight from Usongololo. Umiya comes straight from Usongololo, from Umtalatala. No, Utalindyebo is not a king, KwaXhosa. Utalindyebo is a king, Abathembu. Abathembu are a different group. Abathembu is Mandela's people. They are not Xhosa. They are Xhosa speaking. They are Xhosa speaking, but they are not Xhosa. Xhosa, guys, let me just get on with this. Ne? I will explain two nations today, AmaMpondomise and AmaXhosa. Just please bear with me because I can see people don't understand how these things work. I'm just going to explain now quickly. I'm going to share my screen because, it's too bad. Kanti, what do we know, Tina, is abantu bamnyama, guys? If we don't know these things, sazintoni, what do we know exactly as black people? We don't know European history. We don't know African history. We don't know South African history. We don't even know our own history. What do we know? Why are we here? Yo! Hayi liwalibheka umoya. Iliwalibheka umoya, madoda. See? Okay, I'm going to explain AmaMpondomise now. I'm going to explain AmaMpondomise. Last time I'm answering this, ne? Last time I'm answering this, someone is asking, AmaMpondomise connected to Amahlubi? Because people tried to connect them. Guys, AmaMpondomise is something that formed in the 1820s. Before the 1820s, there was nothing called AmaMpondomise. Amahlubi were already there since the 15 and 1400s. So Amahlubi have nothing to do with AmaMpondomise. Amahlubi have always existed. They didn't stop existing because of AmaMpondomise. Amahlubi kudala khona, they are from eLubombo. They are from northern KZN all the way to Natal. Amahlubi have always been there. Thank you, Mukoni. So Amahlubi don't have anything to do with ubumfengu per se, in the sense of AmaMpondomise Amahlubi. No. Amahlubi have always been there since Lubombo, northern KZN. And Amahlubi were even there in what is called Zululand. Places like Newcastle. Amahlubi were settled there. For a long time, they were very close to AmaZulu, Umthonyama. AmaZulu in Umdabu. They were literally in vicinity of AmaZulu before they even went down to what is called Natal. No. Amahlubi have nothing to do with Congo. No one has anything to do with Congo in South Africa or anywhere else. Abantu base Congo, base Congo. Abantu base Zimbabwe, base Zimbabwe. Abantu base Eastern Cape. Abantu base South Africa, base South Africa. Hlubi has nothing to do with Congo. Nothing. Hlubi wase Libombo. Uhlubi kwase Libombo. In fact, ancient history tells us that Uhlubi himself, Amahlubi, Amangwane, and what became as Amaswati, they do share some entanglement in ancient times, but this is like very old history now. Like this is like old stuff, like from the 1300s to the 1400s. It is said that an ancient Hlubi, who was a brother of the ancestors of Amaswati, the ancestors of Dlamini Nkosi, there was a brother. Between the first Dlamini or the older Dlamini, there was a brother, a king known as Uhlubi. It is said he's the one who was a progenitor of Amahlubi. But I'm not going to discuss that. Nah. What I'm saying is Amahlubi are very old. They were there before this whole thing of AmaMpondomise. Since the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, Amahlubi already exist. Now, AmaBhaca are related to Swati because AmaBhaca are literally from Eswatini and northern KZN. AmaBhaca are from Eswatini, so they are related to the groups that were there. But let's not deviate. Ne? So now, AmaMpondomise, what is AmaMpondomise? I explained it very clearly. It's different groups of people. Different groups of people that were disturbed because of battles between Ushaka and Umatiwane. Umatiwane Wamangwane goes and disturbs Amazizi, disturbs Amahlubi. They get scattered. Amahlubi ayelisuthu, Amazizi ayelisuthu. Amahlubi kampangazita through Lesotho, amanye down to Eastern Cape, Amazizi kwaLanga, Amazizi kwaBulana, Amazizi kwaKhakheni go to Lesotho, amanye down Eastern. So what happens is now you have Amazizi, you have Amahlubi, you have Amabele. These are all neighbors, by the way. That's why they got disturbed easily. Amazizi, Amahlubi, Amabele, Amangwane, some Amantungwa as well, some Abathembu, baseQhudeni. All these groups get mixed up with other groups along the way. They get mixed up. You have Oskosana are mixed up in this thing as well. Eastern Cape, you have all these groups. You have Okumalo, Eastern Cape. You have Oskosana, Eastern Cape. Even Amazulu kwantombela akhona maninzi pa Eastern Cape. Amangwane akhona, Ohlongwane sinabo Eastern Cape. All of these people came as AmaMpondomise. But these people all have independent groups back in Eastern in KZN. Back in KZN, they've got independent nations. So you can't then say AmaMpondomise ngamahlubi because that's a lie. AmaMpondomise is a new group that just formed in the 1820s. Yes, Amatolo as well and all that. So they needed an identity now. Some of them call themselves Abambo. Uyabo. So most of them said Bangabambo. So people used Abambo. That's why in Eastern Cape you've got sayings like when a ceremony is full, we will say, hey, bekugcwele, bekungumbo nomxesibe. Which means you had Abambo and you also had Amaxesibe. We used to separate Abambo, particularly because AmaMpondomise. Yabona, there's a person called Africa. For the fact that your name is Africa, I know you are a lost cause. You have no identity. So you steal North African names like Africa so that you can suit your lack of self-knowledge. You have no identity. I know people like you. So I'm going to block this Africa person quickly. You're not even my follower, so you don't deserve my attention. Block this bastard. Now, AmaMpondomise. Yeah, no, I already discussed that one. The AmaMpondomise and the battles with AmaXhosa, I already discussed it. If someone wants to learn more about it, please check my YouTube channel. I will post this there. Anyway, let me share my screen now. So, AmaMpondomise up. Someone asking, AmaMpondomise, do they have their own language? Now, guys, you're going to be confused because the way we understand own language nowadays, these things are mainly dialectical differences. So, AmaMpondomise have their own way of speaking. Sorry, AmaMpondomise have their own way of speaking. It's called ukutseya, okanye ukutseya. Yabo. AmaMpondo ayaxela. AmaMpondomise ayatseya. It's very similar. It is very similar, but there are some differences here and there. Even AmaVundle, they had their own dialect. AbaThembu, they had their own dialect. You see it in certain words. In certain words, for example, a word like that I would say, ukuchuka, which is to smell. Thembu would say ukuchoka. Yabo, inchoka is a smell. Now I know ukuchuka. You get it? That's a dialectical difference. But also in the names of the ancestors, when you look at some of their names, the way they say the names, it's clear they spoke differently to other regions of Eastern Cape. So yes, AmaMpondomise, in each region where they were in, because AmaMpondomise are not just in one place, guys, are in many different places, as far as Lesotho. You understand? AmaMpondomise, akona Kutsolo, Maninzi, akona in all these different places, all the way to Lesotho. So they're not going to speak the same in all these areas. So they do have their own dialects, and also they differ region to region. Now, what I know a person in AmaMpondomise. He speaks like Zulu people. Basically, we are Kuluma. Like, he speaks like we are Kuluma, Lamvan. But AmaMpondomise, he's from Eastern Cape. But when you listen to him here, you would think this guy is Kuluma ring here. He speaks like a Zulu person, but also speaks like a Mpondo person. So you would think it's a mixture of Zulu and Xhosa. But no, it's how AmaMpondomise speak. He's from the Ngabane clan. Ngabane. Ngabane, Papa Nomhlehle. So, yes, now let's go and look at the bloodlines of AmaMpondomise so that we can understand. Go by AmaMpondomise. Now, yeah, let's get started. We had already touched on UCBC, and then we touched on Unjanya, and then AmaMpondomise, from Unjanya, you get AmaMpondomise now. One of their oldest ancestors is Untose. Untose is one of their oldest ancestors. Now, from Untose, we get AmaXhosa. AmaXhosa are very old, AmaMpondomise. AmaXhosa, kungena uXhosa, kungena uNjembu. From uNjembu, sifumana uMlawu. From uMlawu, sifumana uGqarhana. From uGqarhana, sifumana uMahlahlana. uMahlahlana, sifumana uMbeki. From uMbeki, sifumana uSiyoyo. From uSiyoyo, sifumana uRhotoni. ngamaXhosa anga, oGqarha, oVambane, oMahlahlana. Kuthiwa ngumfazi obelelinye oncedisa ngaphesheya komlambo. This is one of the oldest clans AmaMpondomise from the times of Untose. ngamaXhosa ngamaMpondomise. Now if you look at these names, Xhosa, Gqarha, if you come to a language known as Qwinkia, because AmaXhosa, you must understand, these people, they have extremely close affinity to Abathwa, known as AmaGqange. Now, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's come here. Now, I'm going to take you nice and patiently in the language of Abathwa. Let's see what Gqarha is. Maybe we're going to get some answers, Maybe we're going to get some answers, finally, on all these ancestral names that are confusing. Give it a minute, I'll come back Let's go back to amacwerha. So ngamacwerha anga. Now uZakes Mda, when he speaks about amacwerha, uthi yena yinzala yabantu ale straight. And if you think about it, it makes sense because in the places where AmaMpondomise stay, Ingu, the river Ingu, it's full of caves of people known as the Gande people, Amagande. Uyabona? Ingu, the river Ingu. Rivers like in Icacadu, in places like Inqanqarho. Uyabo? Igubenga, Kotsolo, all these regions are filled with heritage yobuthwa. Nansi apha eMampondomisweni le heritage. In fact, amagqangqe ngamaMpondomise. The so-called Bushmen of Transkei, they are actually AmaMpondomise for the most part, amagqangqe. They are AmaMpondomise. Now, bakhona abathwa from so-called Siskai, we will look at them. These are the people of Umadolo or Umadula. But these ones, amagqangqe, they were people under a king called Unqabayo. They were under a king called Unqabayo. Amagqangqe. And they all submitted to the Mpondomise kings. So the Gangqe, so-called Bushmen, were AmaMpondomise through and through. Ayixoxisi. Abathwa abangamagqangqe kwakungamaMpondomise because they recognized the Mpondomise king. They went and served in the court of the king. So amacwerha ke aphuma from the time of uNtose. This would be like the 1400s to the 1500s. Ocwerha, ogqarha, ovambane, omahlahlana, osyoyo. They come from the time of uNtose. There have been people who have come out openly to say amacwerha must somehow be coming from the Nama people. Now, I don't know if they were Nama or not. What I know is that they've always been AmaMpondomise. That's it. They've always been AmaMpondomise. But the place names are very clear. Names like Igubeng, names like Ingu, names like Icacadu tell us clearly what the history of these people is. Even personal names like Cwerha, Gqarha, you know, they tell us. And I'm going to show you there. But from Untose now, we get another old clan. So these are the older clans, Cwerha and Mpinga. I think they lack information about Mpinga here because Mpinga, there should be Mawawa, there should be Senzwa, there should be Ngqoshe and Mbala. Umbala is the son of Ngqoshe. Umbala is the son of Ngqoshe. So that's why AmaMpinga will say Mpinga Mawawa Senzwa, Mbala kaNgqoshe, not Ibholokoqoshe. There's no such a thing as Bolokoqoshe. It's Mbala, the son of Ngqoshe. Ngamampinga ke anga. When I was still young, one of the neighbors was from this people, the Mpinga people, AmaMpondomise. Another from the line of Untose is the Bukwana people, Bukwana, Ngcuba, Mziziba, Sotho, Mtolo, Ndafika. Bukwana, basasekhona, they are still there, they know themselves. They are known as AmaBukwana. So you have three ancient groups, AmaMpondomiseni: AmaBukwana, AmaMpinga, and amacwerha. Yes. AmaBukwana, AmaMpinga, amacwerha, they come from the earliest times of AmaMpondomise, like from the very beginning. From Untose now, Untose is said to have taken a woman from the Gangqe people. Ntose's wife is said to have been a woman from the Gangqe people and gave us Ungwina. Ntose gave us Ungwina or Ngwini. Ngwini gave us Udosini. But before Udosini, there's another new group now that forms. This group is known as, they come from the line of Unqothwe. So from Ungwina we get Unqothwe, Udeche, Usolukhulu, Uhladi, Ungwayiphathwa. And then from Unqothwe we get another one, Ungcichana. AmaNgcichana, they know themselves. And then we get Umkhobeni, Umgxoboka, Uchungwa, Udyalvana, Uwonci. Now you're asking yourself, what do these names mean? We have honored this name, Wongi. Wongi means red cat, red wild cat. That's what Wongi means. Wongi means red wild cat. You're not going to find the meaning in isiXhosa or in modern day isiXhosa. You'll find the meaning in what? You'll find it in Kunkia. Chungwa. Chungwa means the one who has been put above others. Chungwa means the one who has been put above others. In fact, if you go to Kunkia, Chung is on top. Chungwa, the one who has been put above others. It's cool. Yes. Now think about Ntungwa as a softened form of this, above others or higher than others. So this group, Odeche, Ongcichana, Nomkhobeni, they all form a group of AmaMpondomise known as AmaNqothwe. Let's go back. From Ungwina we get to Dosini. Dosini gives us Uphangwa. Uphangwa, Osnika, Unqinsi. These people are known as AmaNqinsi. These people are known as AmaNqinsi. Nqinsi gives us uDlova, and his descendants are also known as AmaDlova or AmaNqinsi. Now, this is not his only child, of course. These people would take like 5 to 10 wives. So they would have like hundreds of descendants. Those descendants each would be ruling a village or a place. They were not just sitting around. That's why one generation already forms a new nation, AmaNqinsi. Another generation forms another clan, AmaDlova. From here, they can also form another clan because, you know, these people will give you, each generation will give birth to like a massive number of people. Anyway, you get Odlova and then Oqhingi. And these are the descendants, Ojulana, Ompitikes, Onqinsi, Omaqolo, Omhlumba, all the way down to Oyali, Nonsundwana. These are surnames today, Onsundwana, Noyali. They are surnames today. Now, obviously, this kind of stuff can be contested, you know, because it's oral history. I don't mind that. My point is to put this out there. That's the real reason, honestly. We can contest the validity of some names here. Anyway, from Dosini now, if you go to Kora, Dosin, people will be like, oh no, Dosini means Dosina. But if we look at Kora now, you look at the name for a zebra. You know, in Kora we get Daub and Dos. Idube ne Dosi. Daub and Dos. Idube ne Dos. Now, within Amakora, there is another group of people known as Odosini as well. Dausin Kais. Yabo. Dausin Kais. Abantu be zebra or abantu be dube. Now, I had spoken about the other group, Oqarha. It's important that we go and find the name Qarha because I think it's going to help us. It's going to help us in understanding some of these things. Let me just put it like this. Qarha. Let me put it like this. I think it's going to make it easier. Yeah. You see? This is hyena. One of its name in Konkia, it's Dini. Another name is Gaqa. Ne? Another name of hyena is Gaqa. But if you go far enough, you find this name here. This is Gaqa. Literally. Gaqa. Why is a hyena called Gaqa? Why is a hyena called Gaqa? And what is the meaning of Gaqa? Gaqa comes from the word uluqa or iliqa, like a shoulder. A shoulder, and Kha simply means abundance of something. Now, if you look at the hyena in and of itself, its very shape tells you it has a big upper body and a smaller lower body. So it has big amaga and small imilens. It's got big amaga and imikono and small imilens. So hyena liqarha because it's got big upper body. Even in isiXhosa, someone with a big body, big upper body, or big shoulders is called Qarha. So this is Qarha. But also another name of the hyena is Gaqa. Is Gaqa. This is the International Phonetic Alphabet. This is not stuff for people who passed grade 12 with 10%. This is stuff for people who actually understand the International Phonetic Alphabet. If you know phonetics, you will know that this is a guttural sound. This is not this is not a click. This is guttural. This is a click. So this is nunza. This is nunza. So this is gaga and this is gaga. If you don't know guttural sounds, that's your problem. If you don't know the International Phonetic Alphabet, that's your problem. Anyway, let's go to isiXhosa and see what is gaga in isiXhosa. Let's see what is gaga in isiXhosa. I see there's a young boy here in the comments looking for attention. Hey, guys. And zanamasiko nto zakuthi man. So that you don't go around giving problems to people. And zanamasiko ningagulele bantwini. Zanamasiko nto zakuthi. Please. Zanamasiko ndiyamcela. Because ngoku you're seeking attention in the wrong places. Hambi ebuhlanti bawo. Hambi ebuhlanti siyibuza ukuma indaba. Andiyazi nam. Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know what went wrong in your bloodline. Don't ask me. Why are you giving me problems now? Nah, I didn't do anything to you. Goodness. Bastards. You know, some of these people, man, it's those guys. It's those guys who were dumb at school. Now in social media, they have a platform to spew their bile everywhere. It's those people who are always failing at school. Imagine, man, wasting my time debating with such people. Hey. Anyway, now here, if you look at the Xhosa dictionary, Kaga is a river near the coast to the east of the Cape. It's also a small river in Itutua Reserve. Yes, the name of the river is the river of the hyena because the hyena has big shoulders. From the word amaqa, shoulder. Amaqa, the shoulders. Uligagga is someone with big shoulders. Whereas ugaga is the upper body. Therefore, gaga is big upper body. It's big upper body. But again, we always have is tuji. We always have is import. You know, when we were young, as boys, we were told not to eat umbizo. We were told not to eat umbizo because umbizo will make you go around ubok. You find people talking about something important, you come and you spew bile, you are suza, you are farting. Anytime you open your mouth, you fart. These people are farting here because they didn't follow the instructions of the elders. Musa ukudla umbizo. Musa ukudla umbizo. Ngokuphoxela thina. Asikwazanga nto thina. No, guys, Ikacha is a river. It's called Kaka River. It's not K. K is Niba. It's not Kama. Kama is Ikais. Anyway, from Utosini then you get Unabach. From Unabach is Nelenduna and then Kochama. Now Kochama is Kochama, not Kochana. It's Kochama. It's a great lion. Kochama. Chama is a lion. From the word Ukuragama. Chama is a lion. Ko is a big lion with a mane. And then you get Uhala, Umahule, Umkoko. From this line, you get Amatosini, by the way. From this line. You would know Mamumatosini. Now, if we go far from the line of Unguina, still, from the line of Unguina, we had spoken about Amangotwene. From the line of Unguina, we also get Utricha. Now Utricha, people, they used to lie and say, no, Utricha, the name of Utricha came because Utricha's mother always used to be pissed off. So she used to say, cha. No, guys, that's not true. The name of Utricha has nothing to do with his mother getting pissed off. Utricha's mother didn't get pissed off by anything. The name Utricha means big ears. Umadlebe. I is a name for an ear. Cha, many of them, or abundance of, or too much of something. Icha, big ears. That's why you call an earring ichi, the little one in the ear. So Ticha means big ear, Umhle is the same as umse or umte. It's the original form of umhlekazi, by the way. Now from umhle we get to sabe. Now sabe, I ask you, what is the meaning? Once again, we have to run and go to the so-called Bushman language and get the meaning of our own ancestors' names. Imagine. Why are these names not in Congo? Why is there no Tsicha? I don't see Congolese names here. Yo, I only see so-called Bushman names. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let me make it easy. Arrow head. I'll make it easy for you. I'll make it easy. Just give me a minute. It's still loading this thing. We are still looking at AmaMpondomise through the line of Tsicha. We are coming to Tsaka through the line of Tsicha. From Tsicha, which means big ears, we get umhle, which is a form of umhlekazi. No, Tsicha comes from Nwina. Remember, Tsicha comes from Nwina. Tsicha's mother, again, was Gande, so-called Bushman. The name Tsicha means big ears. Clearly, this gentleman had big ears. Tsicha gives us umhle. Umhle gives us usabe. Now, I'm looking at the name for usabe. What is the name of usabe? You know, we have to ask these things, because this is how people get deceived. Oh no, Sabe is a tribe from Central Africa, Shabe. They will say that. Like they say, Amashubi, Asuka Kumashubi, Central Africa. Oh my goodness. Kudu Amashubi, Asuka Kushubi, Central Africa, but Amashubi, even the name Shubi is new. Even the name Shubi is new. They were never Amashubi, those people. So, hey, Nkosi yami. Kuthiwa kiwashubi, washubi mangelengela. Yo, it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And amashubi ayayiwela, hayi singamashubi thina suke Congo. Yeah, Embo. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's so sad, because amashubi have always been here. Akho kwanto ihlanganisa amashubi neCongo. At all. Khacho. They will find anything, any word that has Mbo. Yeah, we come from that place. There's Mbo in Cameroon. Yeah, we come there. There's Mbo in Kenya. Oh no, we come from Kenya. So which place are you coming from exactly? Everywhere except where you already are. Oh, Nkosi yami. Kwaze kwanzima emhlabeni. Kwaze kwanzima emhlabeni. Give me a minute, guys. I'm sorry. I just need to show you the name Sabe. I have to show you. This is what, you know, when you generate knowledge, this is what it looks like. You go look for it. It's not given. You generate it from scratch. Nazok. An arrowhead is Sabe. This is Kwinkia. An arrowhead is Sabe. It's also Shwacha. But it's also called, an arrowhead is also called, it's also called what? Kaba or Kaba. Yabo. There's another word that I'm looking for. Kabe. Yeah, this one. Kabe. Kabe. It also means an arrowhead. Now, this one can also be used in other instances to mean, you know, like a tall person, in the sense of Kabe, like Amakabe, tall people. Anyway, these are the names, you know. These are the names. From Usabe, we get to Qengeba. Now, I already told you, Qengeba is literally a Kunkia word, which means a lord. Qeng. Let's go and see it, so that you can see I'm not making this stuff up. Let's do this. Let's do this. Ooh. Let's see if Korah has this thing as well. Lord. I don't think Korah has it. I think Korah has Khung. Yeah, Korah uses Khub. which you find in the Xhosa word qhuamata, qamata. Okay, give me a minute. I'll show you something. Give me a minute. Gang also occurs when we talk about so-called the creator in a way, you know, in the indigenous sense, like the creator being. It's also called Qeng or Qang. Qeng or Qang or even Khung. This is where the Central African Lungu comes in. Lungu, Kalunga, Mulungu come from Khung or Khang. In Central Africa, they say Mulungu or Kalunga. That one has to do with Ukulunga. Good Lord. Remember, I told you, good Lord, the great Lord. He's not Umulungu like Abatagati Abasbaziyo. Yabo. Well, linguistically, linguistically, clicks predate other sounds. So, all African languages would have come from a click form at some point. When we look at the linguistic history of words, words would have taken a click form. Anyway, even in our own languages, we've got words that are no longer clicks now, but they are clicks originally. Like usabe, we saw that in its click form is trabe. Umhle, the word hle in its click form is khay. That's why in Kwemana, umhlekazi, we say khayseb. Khay is good, beautiful. Yabo. Even in Ndlebe, in its click form is qaib. Nah, it's all right. Now from uqengeba we get two bloodlines and more. We get umajola. Oh, bathi joli nkomo awuphume ejele. Ndinengxaka zomzwam. Yo, ayo hayi ndinengxaka zomzwam. Emajola. Oh. Umajola uphuma kuqengeba. Ungwanya uphuma kuqengeba. That is why women who come from the Majola clan, they are generally never called Majola, because Majola is a male. They are generally called Mangwanya. Now I see people using Jola instead of Majola. It's not Jola, it's Majola. That's a man's name. Just like Madiba is a man's name. Just like Maduna is a man's name. Just like Makatini refers to a man. Just like Mapoloba refers to a man. Just like Mandela, Madikizela, all those are referring to men. It's not women. So don't shorten it now and say, Ujola. No, you are not Ujola. Ungumajola. Yeah. Ungumajola. Yes, in KZN they will say Kamajola. Yes, true. In Eastern Cape, we'll try and avoid that repetition of Mama Jola. We'll just use Mangwanya. Yeah. From Ungwanya you get to Pasho. And then Usonto. And then Umnambe, Umyeki, Umatiwana. Now please guys, correct me. I think the king uses Matiwana as a surname. The king of AmaMpondomise. I think the king of AmaMpondomise uses Umatiwana. This is not Umatiwana or Mangwana. This is Umatiwana or AmaMpondomise. Yeah, bon. So Umatiwana is still a surname that is still used even by the king to this day. Remember the kings of AmaMpondo, we spoke yesterday about those ones who use Ndamase and those ones who use Ustaw. We exposed that yesterday. Who Ndamase and Ustaw are and where they fit in and what Ustaw means. So AmaMpondo saying they use Matiwana as a surname. But you can see Matiwana comes from all the way from Tsikha. So Matiwana himself is a descendant of Abatwa. From Matiwana you get Umhlonto. From Umhlonto you get to Charles all the way up to the modern king. Now these people are known as Omajola, Oqengeba, Omphankomo. Oh my God. Omphankomo aba. Now Majola, we also use it as a name for a snake, the brown mole snake, which we also called Inkwakwa. We also call that snake Inkwakwa. It's used for that. When you say Majola, it's a man. When you say mangwanya, it's a woman. No. Omajola. They are not Otrich. Omajola. One of their ancestors is a person called Tricha. They are not Amatricha, they are Majola. One of the ancestors is Utricha. KwaXhosa, they have Amatricha, who also have an ancestor called Tricha. It's just a name. KwaZulu, they have Uzulu. You guys know that. EmaHlubini, they have Uzulu. You guys know that. KumaTolo, they have Uzulu. You guys know that. AmaMpondomise no Changisa, they have Uzulu. You guys should know that. It doesn't mean Changisa ngamazulu, Tolo ngamazulu, AmaHlubi ngamazulu. No, ayingomazulu in the sense of coming from the bloodline of Malandela. They have the name Uzulu within their ancestors. So names are just names, guys. It doesn't mean just because there's Uzulu, oh damn, you guys are Amazulu. No, it doesn't work like that. Silandela umnombo isendele inkosi. Yes, Utricha is one of the ancestors. It's actually the progenitor of the line of Omajol. Tricha himself coming from who? Look at this. Tricha comes from Ungcuina. Ungcuina ozalwa nguNtosi. Azok. Now from Ungcuina we also get to Ucaka. Abantu bakwaGcaka basasekhona. I think there's one of them here. We also get uNqana. Now this book also is lazy. This screenshot I have is very lazy because these people have great histories. I don't know why it's not included here, and I didn't have enough time to prepare. But you have amaGcaka and you have amaNqana. ONqana ke ngoNantsika, ngosicambe esihle sokondlalela amakhosazana, ngomdanda, ngonakisa. Awu madoda. Zimnandi izibongo zaseMampondomiseni. Mna ke andilompondomise kodwa ndingumzukulwana eMampehleni kocabatsho nkomo zibomvu into zakulo ibeka wakulokani odikana bakulo lubisi. Umama uzalwa ke nguMampehle. Ndingumzukulwana mna pha. And then we have another group known as amaqadi, amaNcinasi. From Ungcuina we get uNcinasi. uNcinasi asinika umdlana. Umdlana ozala umbaba nobinyasha. Umbaba osinika ugonqa. Ugonqa osinika ubunguzi. Ubunguzi asinika udeku. Usideku asinika uqushana. From ubinyasa sifumana umazaleni nodolosha. Now you see, I explained yesterday about uqhawe mazaleni and uwombakazi mazaleni. I said just because they are mazaleni, it doesn't mean ngamaXhosa by blood, because kwaXhosa siyayazi there's a clan known as Ojwara. One of their ancestors is umazaleni. But umazaleni wamaJwara is like from the 1600s, if not the 1500s. Extremely old. There's no way umazaleni would have become a surname. I would just like to know, is it Tuko, Sikaqhawekazi, Mazaleni, and Uwombakazi Mazaleni, so that they help us to know, are they AmaMpondomise, AkwaNcinasi, from this bloodline of Mazaleni who gave birth to Uchaka, who then gave birth to Udlung. Do you guys see we have Ushaka? Ushaka lo. But ayingoshaka wakwaZulu. So nakwaXhosa ukhona uShaka, nasemagquni ukhwebeni ukhona uShaka. Yesterday I showed you kwaXhosa ukhona uMalandela as well. It's not the same one kwaZulu. So you must not take these things at face value. You must go deep. Yabo. And then from umazaleni we get to Chaka, then sifumana uDlunge. Kanti kudoloshe sifumana uDoloshe. That means this person probably ebenengxaki nedolo. They had a problem with their knee. That's why baby uDoloshe. Yabo. There's a man who's asking here about Ugavu Nonyawuza. Guys, yesterday I already did Ugavu Nonyawuza in detail. Go to YouTube and watch. I did AmaMpondo in detail. I can't talk about Ugavu now. Nonyawuza. I already did yesterday. I have to talk about AmaMpondomise. From Utoloshe, probably he had a problem with the knee, or he had a big ninja. You get Untiniswa and Umbambo. Oh, Bambo Zemka Zabuyelela Madoda, Ngapansko Litigeka. uKheswa, remember uKheswa ngamahlubi, siyeza kumahlubi, but today we are focused on AmaMpondomise. So nanga ke amaqadi, sorry, nanga amaqadi ngawo anga, ngamaqadi anga. So maybe ke uqhawe emazaleni ngumamqadi, maybe ngumamqadi. Now from umhle sifumana ugqubusha, sifumana urhanxolo, sifumana umaga. Now imihaga are very important to Xhosa history because imihaga are the ones who actually guaranteed the victory of the Xhosa royal family today. The Xhosa royal family of today is ruling because of these people. These people are not Xhosa AmaMpondomise, but they are there kwaXhosa and they are very important kwaXhosa. These people guaranteed the victory. They went and fought next to Amachawe and defeated Ogqirha, who then went and joined Amandluntsha. They also defeated Ojwara, who then went and joined Amabele, Oqunta, in the 1500s. And people are going to tell you, Amabele are new in the Eastern Cape. Clearly, they are not new. Amabele used to stay with AmaXhosa. They used to stay with AmaXhosa. Wherever that thing happened, Amabele were not far from AmaXhosa. Anyway, so you've got these three bloodlines that come from Umhle, AmaGqubusha, AbakwaRhanxolo, and Imihaga. Now, let's start with AmaGqubusha. It's an interesting name. AmaGqubusha ke aphuma kumhle, umhle kaCirha, uCirha kaNgcwina, umzukulwana kaNtose. uGqubusha usinika uHena. There's this man who used to act ityala lamawele, utata uPhekesa. His last name is Hena. I don't know if this is his last name per se. No, 1500. It is far. I mean, most of South African history is based on 1652. It is far. Not that far, but it is far. Most of these events are from 1450 to 1500. Like the nations like AmaXhosa, the modern ones were formed in the 1300s mostly. So before that, we would have had maybe different names. Anyway, that's not the point. Now, yeah, uHena, AmaMpondomise, it's a name. Now, I'm sure Khanxolo did have children, but I think we are focusing on the important ones, I guess. From uHena, we get uMakhalima. It's a surname that I've heard a lot. From uMakhalima, we get uNqeno. From uNqeno, sifumana uSeku. From uSeku, sifumana uJojo. Now, uJojo is a word that means the Sierveld. We have a Sierveld and a Suetveld. We have Sierveld grass and a Suetveld grass. iJojo is that grass that's in the Sierveld, or even land that you cannot cultivate is called iJojo. But also iJojo is a stick, a long stick that has been sharpened. Difference between uMatiwane, Gwamangwane, they're from KZN. uMatiwana, lona sithetha ngaye ngwamaMpondomise, but it's the same word. It's literally the same word, but it's two different people, two different generations. One may be named after the other. So this is the name Jojo, but these are not AmaXhosa. It's just the same name. Then we have Khanxolo. They didn't involve his descendants. Now we have uMaga. uMaga gave birth to uNquba. Now the name Nquba means a fish, by the way. It also means to be anxious, to have anxiety. Ukunquba, be very anxious. But it also means a fish. So in the sense of the Nquba River, it means fish. I repeat. In the sense of the Nquba River, it means fish, the fish river. I'm not sure in this sense what it's supposed to mean, but it may mean still the same thing. There may be a story as to how the name came about. I don't know that story. What I do know is that Onquba are descendants of uMaga. Then Onquba themselves gave us amaGudulu. Now, Gudulu means to drag. Khudulu means to drag. These, especially these ones, this is the specific group that went to Eastern Cape in the 1500s. Not Eastern Cape, sorry, to KwaXhosa. These people specifically went KwaXhosa. They were asked to go KwaXhosa. They went there. They helped Amachawe, the ruling Xhosa family, to defeat their enemies. Well, their brothers in this sense. And they were gifted with land. That's why today, Okhudulu, Onquba, will call themselves Omhlatyana, the people of the little land, because they were given little land. And then they were given the nickname Ngwevu. Kamangwevu. Amangwevu, Omhlatyana, Okhudulu, madoda, Onquba. These people even ended up getting very high positions, KwaXhosa. In those days, they were the most trusted KwaXhosa because they literally gave Amachawe their victory. When they were fighting, Kutwa, they used to say, Sisinkomo zikaSikhomo Tina. Sisinkomo zikaSikhomo. We are Sikhomo's armies. We are Sikhomo's armies. Apparently, they used to say that Sisinkomo zikaSikhomo. Amanquba. Omangwevu. Now, Amanquba originally, Amanquba, who had come from Imihaga. So this group is known as Imihaga. They are known as Imihaga originally. Someone I know, I did mention in one of my videos that Amanquba are Imihaga. I don't think the person understood. This is what Imihaga is. They come from Maga or Maga. You see, this prince called Maga gave birth to Nquba. Nquba gave birth to Nengane. And Nengane simply means begging. And Khudulu, which means to drag. Nengane gave us Umhlange Nakweni, Ungaleka, Nozozi. I know Ungaleka is a surname today as well. I know Ungaleka is a surname today. And then from Ungaleka, you get to Ngogu. And then Umkolombane. You see, KwaXhosa, there's also Umkolombane. KwaXhosa, there's also Umkolombane. It's two different people. Umkolombane, KwaXhosa, Sandile. I'm Kolombane. Then from Umkolombane, you get to Maqongo. Maqongo means it's wartime. So this child was probably born during war. Uzalwe ngexesha lemaqongo, when there's war. Like right now in 2026, Donald Trump is causing the world to be Maqongo. The golden Goliath is causing the world to be Maqongo. So that at least people don't talk about the Epstein files and the fact that he's been doing things with 12-year-old children. So Kumaqongo because of Trump. So Maqongo simply means wartime. Makes sense. This is probably like the 1800s by then. So these people, the descendants of Mahaga himself being the son of Mhle being the son of Tricha being the son of Ngwina, a grandson of Untos. Mahaga gave birth to all these people, Amanquba, Amakhudulu. So they are known as Imihaga. Yes, Ngalega is a surname, Kolombane is a surname. I'm sure even this one, Mabebeza is probably a surname, and they're probably bullying this one at school. Now, from the line of Upahlo, we hadn't touched properly because you have Amavelelo from the line of Upahlo. These people known as Amavelelo. Interesting because KwaXhosa, you also have Amavelelo KwaXhosa. You have Amavelelo KwaXhosa, but they're a different group of Amavelelo. So, you see, this history is going to confuse people if you only look at it based on names. I like the people that are confirming Mjobo is a surname and Kosa is also a surname. These are probably all surnames by now, yeah. So, Amavelelo, they are descendants of Umgabisa, who then gave us Umvelelo, who then gave us Udiko. I know Diko is also a surname, who then gave us Umdichwa. Now, Umdichwa, I'm gonna focus on Umdichwa. I'm going to focus on Umtitwa now because Umtitwa is the one who did something nice in the 1800s. But let's stop a bit. Let's go to AmaMpondomise. Now, AmaMpondomise, you can see clearly, they are not born from AmaMpondomise. They have no connection by blood. But AmaMpondomise, it's an old group of Abatwa, BaseMaMpondomise. Remember, I had mentioned that AmaMpondomise kunabathwa baninzi kakhulu. AmaGangqe are some of them. Another group of Abatwa BaseMaMpondomise ngoQhinebe, oGquqququ, oDuka namahlathi, omkhomazi. Now, if you know anything about languages Zabatwa, I'm going to tell you this. Ikomazi is not just a river. Komazi is not just a river. It's also the name of a big land mammal, like an inland, Impofu. Ngokwesithiwa Impofu, Ikomazi or Komati. I know in KZN and in Mpumalanga and Seswatini, Komati is the hippo, I think. Yeah. The hippo, inkomo yamanzi. So it's clear the name Qini is an inland, Komazi is in reference to the inland. Gabathwa bempofu aba BaseMaMpondomise. So Ubutwa doesn't remove uMpondomise babantu. Just like Ubutwa did not remove uMpondomise bukaCirha. Just like Ubutwa did not remove uMpondomise bukaNgqwina. If you stop thinking about race like Europeans taught you, you start understanding that these are old and binding relationships that you can't wash away from you. Then you realize that these people ngamaMpondomise oqobo, they are here. So Makhomazi nanga siMaMpondomise. I don't know why they did not include AmaMpehle. I don't know why they do not. Oh, yabona uhlala bemnuka is correcting me there. In isiZulu, umkhomazi is the whale. Yeah, yabona. I didn't realize that. Nazok. Now they did not include AmaMpehle here. I don't know why. But what I know is that AmaMpehle now akhona eMaMpondomise oCabashi. Now Cabashi means red cows. Cabase gomas or Cabagomas, inkomo ezibomvu. That's why AmaMpehle will say Mpehle Cabashi inkomo ezibomvu. Now it is said that AmaMpehle are descendants of Abatwa who were part of AmaMpondomise as well. And looking at this, it's clear AmaMpehle are not here. It's clear they are not here. But they should be included. They should be included, AmaMpehle. My mother's mother is uMaMpehle. Oh, kuthiwa inkomo zakulo ibeka wakulokani. Inkomo ezibomvu, Cabashi, Lubisi, Dikani. Bantu abahle madoda. So, ngamaMpondomise ke anga. NgamaMpondomise anga. They are there in the Eastern Cape. They are there in Lesotho as well. Bakhona eLesotho AmaMpondomise. Bakhona eLesotho. We must understand this is a nation. It's an independent nation. They are not Xhosa. When I say they are not Xhosa, I'm not saying they are enemies of AmaXhosa. Please, we can't be deluded. Just because I'm saying they are not Xhosa, I don't mean all of a sudden they must hate each other now. That's got nothing to do with me. Because people are afraid of saying these things, but oh no, we are causing division. No, I'm not causing any division. AmaMpondomise akungoma-Xhosa, ngamaMpondomise. Because uMpondomise is a bloodline. Is a bloodline. They are from uNgqwina. They are from uNtose. They are not from uMalangana. They are not from uNkosiyamntu. AmaXhosa come from the blood of uNkosiyamntu uMalangana. You understand? Now, are they Xhosa speaking? Yes, today they are Xhosa speaking. Sisizwe esintetho isiXhosa. Just like AmaMpondo, Sisizwe esintetho isiXhosa today, because they are learning it at school. But if you go back in time, these people, they have their own dialect. It's still like isiXhosa. Like all languages of Eastern Cape, we can understand each other, all of us. In fact, dare I say, If you listen to some of AmaMpondo, they speak a very old form of isiXhosa, even. That's my personal opinion. I've spent a lot of time with AmaMpondo, from Mzimvubu, Port St. John's, from Elibode, from even Elusikisiki. They speak nice, Shem. They speak nice. Anyway, AmaMpondo, I've already mentioned, I spoke about them yesterday. I think it was like 3 hours long. So all you have to do is to go to YouTube and watch my videos. My YouTube channel is Sandile Tukani. Now, I'm done with AmaMpondomise, but I want to talk about Umdichwa. Where is he now? Where is Umdichwa? Where is Umdichwa? Yeah, now Umdichwa. Umdichwa kadiko kavelelo kamgabisa. Kaphahlo kangwanya kaqengebe kasabe kamhle kacirha kangcwina. Isizukuzuku sikantose madoda. Impondomise. Thole lo mthwakazi. Ithole lo mthwakazi. Umdichwa lona. There's an old history. Now let's look at this. Maybe let me share this first. Let me share this. We are one of these people. They were under Umdichwa. What do you notice when you look at these people's features? Please answer my people. When you're looking at these peoples, what do you notice? Just look closely. These are the people of a chief known as Ungabayo, who was also under Umdichwa. AmaMpondomise ke anga. Kabatwa abangamaMpondomise. So when we talk about Abatwa, people think we are making this thing up. I know you guys. You have, hey guys. Kabatwa anga. In fact, the names of these people. This one is a man known as Luhayi. Luhayi. This is his name, Luhayi. I've written their names down. These are my notes, guys. I see people asking. These are my notes. They're on Google Keep. Don't worry. I'm just sharing the information. Don't worry. If people want more info, just join my program. This is a man known as Luhayi. Luhayi means open. Luhayi and Umtabazi mean the same thing. The eye ridge, not Dange, Mpikwan. Sabelo yabizo mageba. It's called the eye ridge. So you've got sharp cheekbones, izandundu. You've got strong brow ridges or eye ridges, inkonqa. We call this inkonqa. So izandundu zitsolo, inkonqa ziqinile. And then you have amabunzi, amafutshane, small little This is what they call Bushmen, by the way. When they say Bushmen, they are referring to this specific people. Our Okoko. Hey, our heritage being stolen right in front of us. And our people are busy dancing and drinking. Busy dancing and drinking. If you would look at the head profile, you would see, okay, you can see Ama Izandundu, you can see Inkonq, you can see Umbombo, you can see Umlomo Onchunchu. A convex upper lip, you can see it. It tends to be very pronounced, convex upper lip. If you look at the side profile, you will tend to see a protuberant occiput. For some of them, you will see parietal eminence, which is called AmaPondo. In isiZulu, I think it's called Amahlawe. So these are some of the features you see in our parent's head. Parietal eminence, AmaPondo. On the sides, that's called parietal eminence. And then convexity of the lips as well. Go to YouTube, watch my videos. Sandile Tukani. If you want to know about AmaMfene, search here on TikTok. Search, what is this? Kevnat. Kevnat. If you want to learn about AmaMfene, Kevnat posts my videos. Just yesterday, he posted a video about AmaMfene that I made long ago because I've made a lot of these videos. Yes, and the hair is called peppercorn hair. We call it amagaga or amanqoba. We call it amanqoba. opposite yamahlawe is amantlontlho ne. Yeah, thina sithi zintlontlho. So these people are what you would call typical so-called Bushmen. This is one group, by the way. This is one group. There's many others that I'm going to share with you today, because it's like we're making this stuff up. We're not making these things up. People who think that I will have the time of the day to go and make up false stuff and then come and share them online. For what purpose? Like, there's absolutely no benefit to me lying about history here on TikTok. No benefit at all. Do you agree with uhlala bemnuka? That's very interesting, eh? Mara Zulu, you know, when I looked at this Hlonipho, I realized I see a fan and Xhosa, especially when I look at this Hlonipho Zulu. I realized here fan and Xhosa. I realized it. It's the same thing. It's just that Zulu has been so standardized. Most people think siyabonga, But it's the same thing, in my opinion, as someone who has taken some time to really look at isiZulu, like the older type of isiZulu. I would say it's literally the same thing. But obviously there's going to be differences here and there with pronunciation. And also, I've also listened to AmaZulu, like older Zulu people, very old Zulu people. Their accent is very close to isiXhosa, actually. In fact, one of the princes, Umntwana Usmakade, when I listen to him, sometimes it's like he speaks isiXhosa. I know the pronunciation is different, but the accent, like, anyway, yeah, Maslul. So these Abatwa, they were under Umdichwa. This is why I moved from Umdichwa. Because Umdichwa is one of the characters that comes up when we talk about this history Abatwa. In the 1800s, Umdichwa is the one, this picture was taken at Umdichwa's place, yabo. The first man is Luhayi. Luhayi means emptiness, probably emptiness of the land. It means emptiness or openness. Kevnat, 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 please. Luhayi means openness, maybe openness of land, or yeah. Yes, you wanna words like, well, yeah, that's all. I've heard like the Zulu Royals when they speak, it's very similar to isiXhosa, yo. Even some Basutu, they don't know the difference between Zulu and Xhosa. A Xhosa person will say something ridiculous online. They will attack AmaZulu in the comments. And I'm like, this is funny. But yeah. The second person here, this woman, is uMamXabela. Guluhayi lona. This is uMamXabela. The third person, we didn't get the name. The fourth person is Umthabazi. Umthabazi is something that's open and flat, like a land, flat land, open. Ite tabalala. Uktaba mos is to spread all over. Like yabona abantu bakamsimango othabizolo. It's basically to be spread with dew. Ukuthi tabalala ngamazolo. And then this one is not identified. So Nguluhayi, uMamXabela, we don't know the name. Ngumthabazi, we don't know the name. And then Uluhayi, uMamXabela, we don't know the name. Ngumkhahlela, yes. Ngumthabazi. And then we don't know. So these two individuals, we don't know their names. But we know their faces. We can see their faces. You go to any township, man. You can see people who look like this. Those people that like to act those Tsotsi movies, man. Even the guy who acted with Tsotsi, they have this look. Those dangerous actors who like to be criminals, they tend to look like this. I don't know why they demonize this look, giving it to criminals. But yeah, they do look like this. So the reason why I'm sharing this is to show you that, these are Amaganga. These are Ganga people uh, under who? Under AmaMpondomise. You can see this one looks like Julius Malema. Mara Julius Malema is busy. We come from North Africa. Maybe your ancestors, Baba, not me. It is a hungry look. Now, these are some of the leaders that were there in the 1800s. Some of the people that were there in the 1800s, Eastern Cape, that we know for a fact Abelungu would accept as being Abatwa. You've got Umadolo. Now we're going to have a look at Umadolo, because we're also going to have a look at Ungabayo. Ungabayo is the ancestor of these, is the leader of these people. We're also going to have a look at Uswayi. Uswayi was more on the Lesotho side. When I look at Umakhoqa, Umakhoqa was Impondomise elingumthwa. We're going to look at Ubhidi. Ubhidi was Impondo elingumthwa. Also going to look at Uqang and Uqangi. Also going to look at Qing. There are many others, but I'm not going to waste too much time. Umadolo, his other name is Madula. Now, something in me says this may be the same as abantu bakwaMaduna in Eastern Cape, because abantu bakwaMaduna ngabathwa. So now, obviously, I'm going to rush through this because I wanna talk about AmaXhosa just to help people understand the very basal structure of AmaXhosa. But to do that, I'm going to have to come here. So, according to this, it says the Mpondomise chief Ungwina had married a Ganga woman, and his son became chief after him. Now we had a look at Ungwina. We know that Ungwina is here, and his son was Udosin. So, according to this document, we're not taking it as a Bible truth, but according to this document, Ungwina's mother was Ganga. Still Mpondomise. Don't be confused by this. This doesn't mean they are not Mpondomise. It simply means they are Mpondomise people who live in caves, who do rain dance, who do eland dance. They are still AmaMpondomise. And then in the 1650s, okay, this is nonsense. I'm not going to focus on it. Here you have Abatwa bakaMadolo. Abatwa bakaMadolo. They are trading ivory with AmaXhosa. It's an event. There's an event that I forgot what the event was about. But this is like a small timeline. And then there's one specific group I want to mention. Okay. I think we can start with Uswayi. Who was Uswayi? Who was Uswayi? Let's start here. With the settlement of the Lesotho lowlands by the Sotho after the Boer conquest of areas of the west of the Caledon, these are people you would call Uke. It's a different group from the Kwaikwe, different group from the Ganga. Yes, the Ganga, you may refer to the specific group of Ungabayo, the Ganga of Ungabayo were AmaMpondomise. I'm sure there were other Ganga who were AmaMpondo, and maybe others were Abatembu. But the Ganga of Ungabayo, AmaMpondomise. There were also other Ganga in Lesotho because they used to raid cattle and sell it to Amabhaca. Then Amabhaca would do cattle laundering for AmaGanga. So I'm sure there are Ganga also amongst the Amabhaca. But the ones of Ungabayo, particularly the ones I showed you a photo of, those ones are AmaMpondomise straight. The Sun Raiders operating from the Maluti appear to have taken advantage of the presence of these Sotho communities and began to raid them rather than the European farmers in KZN. Now, these are probably the Kwaikwe people, not Ganga, but Kwaikwe. Some people say they also share ancestry with the group known as Amakwati. This is suggested by the marked decrease in numbers of the Kwaikwe raids on farms in KwaZulu-Natal during the 1860s and the increased intensity of raids by Kwaikwe and Ganga on the livestock of the Sotho. Chief Molapo and his son Jonathan and Joel were troubled constantly by Kwaikwe raids led by Maluti, Khwaikwe leader, Swai. Now, Swai was a good friend of Qenge, also known as Muros. They were very, very good friends because Qenge's mother is from the people of Swai. Qenge himself had 2 wives from the people of Swai. Qenge is Muros. So they were very close friends. And Muros was also very close friends with AmaMpondomise. In fact, for some time, Muros went and stayed with AmaMpondomise when there were troubles in southern Lesotho. So these are chiefs who had a big network from Lesotho to Eastern Cape. Even before Lesotho was a thing. This is Mulap. The illustration was done in the 1990s. This is Mulapo's son. Anyway, my point is to introduce this leader. Now, let's see this. Jonathan and Joel organized a number of expeditions against Swai and his followers, who were based at Sihonghong Cave, deep in the mountains. But they were unable to capture or kill the Khwaikwe leader. On at least one occasion, Swai sought refuge from the Sotho with the Puti. Do you get what I'm saying? Swai was a close friend of the Puti people. He went and stayed in the Puti peoples to be protected from the Sotho. The Puti of Qenge, also known as Muros. As he had particularly close ties with their chief Muros, aka Qenge. He frequently visited Muros's place where he apparently had a Puti wife or lover. Do you see? Swai, a so-called bushman, his wife was Puti. Muros, a so-called Bantu, his wife was so-called San. Anyway, these people, they were just literally one people. I think at the destruction of Swai's people, the Khwaikwe became Maputi. Just like the Ganga of Ngabayo became AmaMpondomise, the Khwaikwe of Swai probably became Maputi. There is evidence to that because even Muros's children, Okang, Noking, they were interviewed by Europeans as being Bushmen, but we know they are Muros's children themselves. Muros, in turn, visited Swai at Sihonghong Cave in the Maluti, where he was reported to have seen Khwaikwe artists painting on the walls of this cave. According to a Sotho woman who accompanied Muros, 3 painters with white goatee beards were at work when they visited, each painting in his own section of the cave. Hers is one of a very few known first-hand accounts of the Khwaikwe artists at work. Now, these caves were dwelling places. Look at this. This is Sihonghong. Muros is here. Qenge is here. This is Sihonghong in the 1800s, before 1878 when Muros was killed. You see? Now, I'm going to show you Sihonghong. It's a real place. It's not my imagination. Sihonghong. It's a real place. I'm not imagining this. This is Sihonghong. It's a cave. Man, what is this nonsense now? Okay, it's fine. This is Sihonghong cave in the Drakensberg. This is where Swai stayed. Someone is saying Twa and Kwe sound Chinese and Japanese. I think Chinese and Japanese sound like our languages. I don't think our languages sound like theirs. It's upside down. We are way older than those people. They are colonizers anyway, many of them in those lands. Swai, come on. You know the Kosa word Swaya. You know the Kosa word Swaya, Mos. Swai is the name of a person. You see? So this is the cave. In fact, let me show you another cave where my own ancestors lived. My very own ancestors lived in this cave. They took it as a castle. Nkulu cave. This is the cave where my ancestors lived. Literally. This is it. This is the cave of my ancestors. Let's Today is like this. It's a heritage site. It's called Endlunkulu. It's called Endlunkulu. One of my ancestors lived here with his wife in Lesotho. Remember, we were settled in Lesotho for a very long time. In fact, all around the Drakensberg, not just Lesotho. From KZN to Lesotho to Eastern Cape, anything that's next to the Drakensberg, my people are there. Free State, we are there. KZN, we are there. Eastern Cape, we are there. Lesotho, we are there. Northern Cape, we are there. This is in Lesotho. This is Lesotho. It's this one in particular. I know it's this one. They've made houses now inside of it. They've destroyed this place. They put houses there. Why are you putting houses? You can't be putting houses, Mos. We stayed in the cave as it is. Let it be the way it is. Don't put houses now next to the cave, destroying the whole thing. Look at this. It looks so dumb. Anyway, so that is one of the caves where my ancestors lived. But that was Swayi. Now I want to introduce Ungabayo. I want to introduce Ungabayo, the leader of Abatwa AmaMpondomise. So this is the cave where Swayi lived and Murosi used to visit him. Now you guys can learn more about Swayi. Here it is, Sihonghong Cave. Here it is, Sihonghong Caves. I don't need to go all the way and, waste time. You guys can always learn more about it on your own. Now, this is some of the evidence of AmaMpondomise, by the way. Because if you look at this, these are people, and this is the baboon. I've tried many times to explain the whole foundation of AmaMpondomise, that it's to observe the baboon. It's based on observations of the baboon's behavior. Anyway, let's read a bit here. They were living at this time. Okay, let's read here. The Commission of Inquiry revealed many interesting details of the relationship between blah 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 blah. It says here, at least 4 Twa or Kui bands were known to have occupied no man's land. There's no such a thing as no man's land, by the way. Ayik no man's land. And adjacent areas at the time. One band under Mdwebo. Do you guys see this name? This is a Zulu name. Mdwebo. But these are Kui people. So today, when we tell you that so-and-so is Twa, oh no, yeah, that's a Zulu clan. But this is a Zulu, a Kui chief called Mdwebo. Now when you tell the descendants of Mdwebo, no, your ancestor was Twa, hangeke, ngeke phela. Uvela ubone ukuthi yeah. So this is Mdwebo. It says, one band under Mdwebo roamed an area between Ngeli Mountains and the Mzimvubu. They were living at this time at the Mzimvubu in the territory of Amapata. Yes. Mdwebo's band appears to have fluctuated in size from 15 men plus women and children to about 120 men, women and children. They were often joined by another band under an old Kangwe chief. An old, probably quite chief, Kangi. Remember, AmaMpondomise, they have Ukengeba. AmaMpondomise have Ukengeba. Amaputi have Ukeng or Ukenge. These Kwe people, well, it's Kui people actually. They are not Kwe, they are Kui. These Kui people have Ukangi. So you have Mdwebo, you have Ukangi, and then a third small band headed by Ungabayo. These are the Mpondomise ones. Abaka Mdwebo ngamabhaca. Abaka Kangi, probably Puti. And then these ones under Ungabayo, they lived in an area bordering the river Tina. AmaMpondomise will know this river, which is a tributary of Mzimvubu. A fourth and much larger group, the AmaTola. These were Abatwa. They were called AmaTola. They were under the leadership of Bilingwana. This is a Zulu name. Do you understand? Umdwebo and Ubilingwana are all Zulu names. This heavily creolized group consists of 200 Sen, Kwe, and runaway servants. They appear to have subsisted largely on stolen cattle and were armed with guns. They even had guns. They also hunted game on the plains near the headwaters of Umzimvubu. However, and were kept active on both sides of the Maloti Drakensberg. A fifth band, the Mbaku, had occupied the upper reaches of the Mzimvubu as well, but their location was not known in 1850. So these are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that you've never heard of until today. So-called Abatwa. Abatwa bakamdwebo. Abatwa bakwaqangi. Abatwa bakanqabayo. Abatwa bangamathola. Nabatwa bakambaxo. Today I'm introducing you to them. And all these ngabantu abantsundu. And all these, right now in 2026, they are spread out as AmaMpondomise. They are spread out as AmaMpondo. They are spread out as AmaBhaca, AmaZulu, Baphuti, today. So when we talk about Abatwa, don't think about some separate group. It's literally the nations that you know today. Now, I'm done with Ungabayo. Now I want to introduce you to another group. You guys can go and search further on these things. I'm just introducing you to these things. I can't dwell too much. It's late already. It's late already. Now, there's maybe one more group I would like to introduce you to. There's this document here. It says the statement of Silai with reference to his life among the Bushmen, so-called. uSilai ngumthembu wamajumba under the chief Umgudlwa in the 1880s eNgcobo. So this happened eNgcobo. uSilai says around the time of the war of Umlanjeni, around 1850, he went to the Tsitsa River to live. The chief of their tribe was uJumba, the father of Umgudlwa. The present chief's father, Umgudlwa. So the chief in the 1850s was uJumba in the time of Umlanjeni. In that part of the country, there were still Abatwa known as Ganda in the river known as Konga. So Abese Konga River. And it says, they were in friendly terms. It says, I became acquainted with them through Uhanise. Uhanise. This is probably a former servant in the farm of white people. Ekwena and Unrika, who was a nephew of a tribe named Kako, the Kako tribe. No. I became acquainted with the Ganga people through Uhanise. This is Hanise, Ekwena and Unrika, who was a nephew of Uhanise on the mother's side. His father being a Qwi of Madolo's tribe named Kako. So these are three tribes that he's talking about. It's Gangre, it's the people of Uhanise, and it's the people of Madolo known as Kako. From the 5 that I mentioned earlier, there's 3 more now. So it's 8 groups, nations, clans. All of them, today they are Xhosa, they are Mpondomise, they are Thembu. Guys, if you want to understand Kwe ancestry, Kwe history, only the black South Africans can help with that. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Only black South Africans, by South Africans I mean Botswana, even in Botswana, even in Zimbabwe, even in Mozambique, even in Namibia. But in South Africa particularly, if you want to try and exclude native black South Africans from Kwe ancestry, you are a liar and you are a fraud. Only black South Africans can ever solve this problem because we are Abatwa. There's nothing else anyone can do about that. You can try to keep it keep lying and trying to replace abathwa ngabantu abantsundu, ngamaXhosa, abathwa ngamaZulu, abathwa even Batsonga, they have Batswa, they have Chauke, they have Hlengwe in their ranks. Abathwa, you cannot ever, you can get hurt all you want. You see, there's this one who's getting hurt there in the comments. Congo people who mixed with Khoi. There are no people called Khoi. There's no language with the word Khoi. That's how I know you drink your Kool-Aid from a European's butthole. You know nothing about history. You drink your Kool-Aid from a European's butthole. You kneel and the European pisses into your mouth and you drink. You telling me about stupid nonsense called Khoi. I'm giving you history here. Uhanise was from a Kwena tribe. Ngika's mother was from the Kako people. These people are ngamaXhosa and ngabatwa and ngabathembu. Don't come with that stupid nonsense of Khoi. There's no Khoi here. It's a gibberish word. It's a gibberish word. Go to sleep, because now you're going to hurt yourself. Your high blood pressure is going to go up because all of a sudden you are realizing that, damn, I've been lied to. You are a pretendian. You are trying to replace the indigenous people of South Africa and you're not going to win. You are a pretendian who just wants to replace and replace and replace. You've tried to replace by lying and saying AmaZulu come from Congo. AmaZulu have never been in Congo. They never will be people from Congo. They will always be Southern African indigenous, whether you like it or you don't like it. Every Nguni person that you know of is indigenous here. Everyone. Bastard. Anyway, guys, you see this. You can go take screenshots and research it some more. I'm not going to waste any more time here. But I wanted to show you the names. Like, you see this name, Nika? See this name, Nika? It's a name that even the Xhosa king, Unika, the Khakhabe king, he had the same name, Nika. Umadolo now is the one that I think is probably Umadula, or from also Maduna. Yabo. Hans, yes, Hans is the same name. It's taken from the Dutch, but it's the same name amongst the AmaXhosa. In fact, I went to school with someone from this surname. These are all Abatwa. That's it. That is the reality here. That is the reality. Now, you have the Kako tribe, but you have another tribe under a king known as Ngabai. So this man is telling a story of how he went to steal cows with the people of Ngabai, known as Gange people. Usilai, a Tembu man from the group of Amajumba under Umguzwa, he's telling a story from the 1850s, how he went and stole cattle with the people known as what is this? Amaganda. How did he become Hans? He became Hans by getting a name from Dutch. It's a Dutch name. Like King Sandile of AmaXhosa was Alexander. Like King Zwelithini of AmaZulu is Goodwill. Like Zuma Ungamalala is Jacob. Like Umandela was Nelson. It's the same. It's not new, this thing. All of them got names from Europeans. It's not just Hans. My very own father is Samuel. My grandfather is Velem. My mother is Dinah. So it's not just this man. All South Africans have European names. That's what we call colonization. It works like that. Now, let's see if I can find I wanted to show you Umakok, a bushman. Oh, not bushman, man. A person. Ongumtwa. I want to show you Umakok. Now, guys, this is one of my favorite ones. This is a woman known as Umakok. So let's read a bit here. Makok, also known as M, is in the literature, was the last Kui descendant with any knowledge of Kui matters in the Tsolo Transkei. Well, that is false, because I'm here and I have very good knowledge of Kui matters. So she was not the last descendant. I'm one of the Kui descendants who have knowledge of Kui matters. These are not books, guys. There's 10 different resources that I've opened. I can't share every resource that I open. It's not books. This is literally an academic journal. The one I checked earlier was another journal. So I can't be saying, oh, this one is this one. I say that to the people who are paying. The people who are paying me on the side, I give them the sources. They're paying for it. Here, I'm just sharing the information. You take the notes, you go and look at it for yourself. This woman is a woman called Makoka. She's from Kutsolo. Tsolo is a place of AmaMpondomise. She's a descendant of who? She's a descendant of these people. You see these people that I'm showing you here in the 1800s? Now, this is one of their descendants. The story checks, Baba. This is not someone who's claiming Aboriginal. This is an Aboriginal. I repeat, this is not someone who's claiming Aboriginal status. This is Aboriginal by blood. And she's Mpondomise. Now, you could go and look for this Southern Bushman in Transkei, blah, blah, blah. Here's another one. Figure 2. A first generation Kui descendant and Mpondo wife of Ubidi. The last official Kui or Gange rainmaker of the Ntabankulu. Now this is AmaMpondweni. This is AmaMpondomise, right? Limpondomise eli. Now we are AmaMpondweni. Ubidi was a rainmaker. A rainmaker. This is his wife. Ubidi, a Gange rainmaker. This is his wife. These are the children of Ubidi. Abathwa abangamampondo. These are the children of Ubidi. You see our people, they Twasa, you think but Twasis were Zindoza. No, Twasa is something that's indigenous to South Africa. Twasa is something from here. So these are the descendants of Ubidi. Impondo, elingumthwa. So AmaMpondo, don't ever make noise here about isingobathwa thina singamaMpondo. Don't come with that nonsense here of European colonization. Don't come with that nonsense. No, guys, this is the 90s, Moses. This is the 1900s. This is like 1992 when they take this, or 1980 something. It's during apartheid. All these people are wearing Western clothes. They can't be wearing something else. It's apartheid, you know. This is a cave in Ngengane. This is a cave in Ngengane. Remember, we spoke about Ngengane, one of the Mpondomise ancestors. Remember, we spoke about Ngengane, guys. It all connects. Here's Ngengane here. Ngengane is also a name of a place. Also a name of a place. So in the cave in Ngengane, this is a cave. It was painted by Lindiso. Lindiso is a Mpondomise Kui descendant. Mpondomise Kui descendant. Not a fake Malaysian Aboriginal pretendian. Gosh. So I've spoken about Umakoka, I've spoken about Ubidi. Let me see who else I need to introduce you guys to. You guys, you can go and search these people up. I've spoken about Umadolo, spoken about Ngabayo, spoken about Uswai. All these are leaders. I even added 3 or 4 more. Spoken about Umakoka, spoken about Ubidi, spoken about Ukang or Kangi. And then you have Kring Kring. Kring Kring was a Puti one. The drawings do have meaning. The drawings are history. All those drawings are history. I don't think our ancestors would waste their time doing something that's meaningless. Everything has meaning. Everything. Everything our ancestors ever did has meaning. But I can't talk about some of these things online. Like the drawings. I can't talk about that, unfortunately. That one, those are things for people who have been initiated to those things. It's sacred stuff, you know, the drawings and all that. But the history is good enough. Ivelaphi theory yoba amaKhaladi is descendants Abathwa. No, amaKhaladi have never claimed to be descendants of Abathwa. amaKhaladi have never claimed to be descendants Abathwa. They've never claimed that. They say they're Khoisan, which is something that doesn't exist. Autumn Keep says Kring Kring is also Asian. Now, Autumn Keep, there's a man that I know, I went to school with, a man called Mkhululi Kringa. Kringa is also Asian. Because Kring Kring is literally Kringa, but it's reduplicated. Or when I say a tall person is Klu is also Asian. When I say someone is tall, I say Gum Klu. That's also Asian. I think there's some work that needs to happen there. Some colonial work. There's no way every time you see indigenous stuff, you think they're Asian. I think there's some deep cleansing that needs to be done on your side. Anyway, next I'm gonna do AmaXhosa, but not today. It's too late. It's 1:45 now. It's 1:45, guys, but please come and join. I need to explain what is AmaXhosa. Even the people from KZN, please, guys, come and listen. Please come and listen, so that I can explain. But ithini indaba yamaXhosa, and then we're also gonna look at abasembo. Oh, omkhizi okhabazela kamavovo ogcwabe madoda. We're gonna have a look at these people and how they connect to abambo, AmaMpondomise, AmaMpondo, amaXesibe, imithethwa. And maybe Hlalabe Mnuka can join, because we want to talk about AmaHlubi as well, in depth. We want to have an in-depth look at AmaHlubi. Very, very important that, because I see a lot of AmaHlubi are very confused. AmaHlubi awasazazi. Hayi awasazazi, Shem. It's so sad, you know. You know, when AmaHlubi arrived in Eastern Cape, they knew their story. Mara no, they know nothing. And about him. But I want to start with AmaXhosa because I think it's the one group that nobody ever talks about. People just assume, oh, Eastern Cape, Xhosa. But that's not fair, you know. That's not fair at all. I had it open, most. But yeah, I will do it. It's fine. Tomorrow, or I guess today, I will do an in-depth, deep dive into AmaXhosa. Please come with your notebooks. Now, when you see Umalandela kwaXhosa, my people, don't assume, oh, AmaXhosa, that means they are Zulu. Oh, my goodness. It's probably going to be, I have to sleep enough first and do everything that's important. So it's probably going to be afternoon or evening or even late. I don't know. Just make sure your notifications are on, because I'm going to go deep. When it comes to AmaXhosa, it's going to take because AmaXhosa are cool. It's a big nation. From Western Cape, all the way to Northern Cape, all the way to Eastern Cape. They're not just from Eastern Cape AmaXhosa. They are from Western Cape to Eastern Cape to Northern Cape. Like traditionally, not this nonsense of apartheid, of homelands, of Transkei and all those things. Yeah, so it's going to be very important. I'm looking for indaba yamaXhosa. Also, nangamaHlubi akhona. So maybe ungelengela ngangena ke on that. But yeah, thank you guys. Have a good evening, good night, whatever. Good morning. Bye-bye. If you want to join my program, which I do weekly, you just inbox me. You have to pay though. Or if you don't want to pay, just go to my YouTube, Sanle Tugani. It's very free. It's hours and hours worth of this knowledge. But this knowledge, guys, it needs someone who's serious about it. If you're someone who just wants to go and argue with coloreds, you're wasting your time. You're not going to learn anything, because coloreds don't give a damn about your history. They just want to claim position and to be recognized by Ramaphosa in parliament and get land. They don't give a damn about this. But if you really just want to be at peace within your mind and to be able to share this with other people, then you're in the right place. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.